So we've managed to eventually get into the sighting with Qurantine and Inkanyeni, but there's quite a few other vehicles in this sighting, but I think we're going to have the upper hand when it comes to maneuvering, because we've got such a small vehicle, much shorter wheelbase, and we're able to sneak in and out of the trees. And luckily we don't have any guests to worry about, as we don't want to bump anybody's heads. It's just Brian, but Brian's very good at ducking. So we're going to try and keep up with them, but we also want to give them a bit of space. They are mating, and we're not going to pressure them. So we'll hang back a little bit and let all the other vehicles have a view, and then hopefully once the sighting quietens down a little bit, then we're able to get a little bit closer and watch quite nicely. But I don't want to drive over all these trees and sort of chase them around too much. Even though they're probably quite relaxed and they wouldn't mind us driving up behind them, we'll just make sure we give them a bit of room, because of course this is a very sensitive matter, and it's the first time Qurantine is mating. Rightio. You alright here, Brian? Watch this branch. There's lots and lots of bush willows, which is okay, so luckily they're not big massive trees that we really need to worry about too much. Now what's quite nice is you can just see them moving off into the distance. Like I said, we'll give them a bit of room. We're not in any hurry. As they're moving through here, they might even chase up a couple of steenbok or common duiker. And I've seen it before where a mating pair have actually hunted together and then feasted upon and, well, shared the same kill. Imagine we get to see something along those lines. Because even though they seem to be preoccupied with mating, they're also going to get a little bit hungry too. Right, let's see if we can find a gap through here. Which way are we going to go? Let's go through here. Also got to look out for all the termite mounds and also some of the burrows. We don't want to fall through one of those. And what we will do now, it's opening up a bit, so we might try and get in front of them, sort of anticipate their behavior, and then sit and wait. And I'm sure that they will come directly towards us. So we'll just go up ahead here. And they're just going to pop out, hopefully in this open gap. Right. Here we go. You can see there's other vehicles. Michael, I have to agree with you. The first time I saw Qurantine, I thought that was Inkanyeni from a distance, and Inkanyeni was her cub. And that's exactly what Michael said, is that Qurantine has got so big now, he sort of dwarfs the size of Inkanyeni. And he's grown. He's definitely grown since the last time that I saw him. But he's still not quite as big. He might be catching up to about Mvula's size. Maybe he's getting to about that size, but he's still got a bit of a way to go. But that's Inkanyeni that you can see now disappearing. And I'm going to go forward because there's an old reservoir here. Obviously, I don't know why this reservoir was put here. What they did do many years ago is they created all these man-made watering holes, but they're now both sitting up on the reservoir wall. Watch your head here, Brian. I'm going to try and sneak through this very, very slowly. Are you all right there? I just have to stop here. Sorry. Okay. We go forward a little bit more. I'm going to have to go back a bit. We tied in here. Oh. Now they've gone inside the reservoir. Qurantine jumped straight in. But there's Inkanyeni still sitting on the wall. And down she goes. And you don't have to be too worried about them because leopards can jump and climb exceptionally well. They're actually mating inside there now. Now I'm sure you all heard all of that growling. That was the two of them. And I don't think that they will hang around there for too long. Actually, I'm not sure, because that would be a very good spot to sit. It must be empty, maybe a small amount of water in there from the rain, but it would actually be very, very much sheltered from the wind. And I suppose there's not too many creatures that could actually utilize a structure like this. There he comes, he's back out again, sitting on the wall. Both of them have hopped back out, and now he's just going to lay there. And walls are one of the most favorite things for leopards to sit on. Whenever they come around the lodges, and they often come around the lodges, they'll sit up on, I've even seen leopards before sitting on the couches that they often have outside, either on the decks for all of the guests. They're not shy of a sort of human, all the equipment that we have, from like a reservoir like this to, of course, even a couch or a bed sitting next to the pool. They're quite comfortable with doing that. This is so cool. But he is definitely growing. He's looking like a very, very nice leopard. He's filled out quite a bit. I'm really impressed with his size for his age, because remember, he's only about 4 years old. So he's still got quite a bit of growing to do. I reckon when he gets to about 6, he'll almost be full grown. He'll sort of reach the maximum size. But he's still got a bit of growing to do. He should start to develop a dewlap. But look at those eyes. And he's got very, very dark eyes. Well, the skin around his eyes is beautiful. He's a lovely cat. Just the perfect time for a nap. So I believe a lot of you are saying that this is the honeymoon suite. You're quite right. It's very nice, with equipped with private pool, and well, maybe it's an infinity pool. I don't know. The way that he's sitting on it, he makes it look like that. You can also hear the red-crested coran that was calling in the background. There's a lot going on here this afternoon. Maybe this is the honeymoon corner, because it sounds like that red-crested coran was possibly doing his display. Hello, boy. There we go. Look at his eyes. I love about leopards, that their eyes are always different colors. Some beautiful hazel brown, some a bit more yellow, and then you get his eyes, which almost look like they have a tinge of like sort of a bluish green to them. Very, very light eyes. He's keeping a close eye on us as we speak. Don't worry, you can have Inkanyeni all to yourself. Now, speaking about Mvula, as I compared Mvula to Qurantine, Vulpine Wolfgirl, you're actually wondering if Mvula is still around. He is indeed. These days he seems to hang around Buffel's Hook, and I believe the other day, over the last couple of days, him and one of the Birmingham males were actually sharing, and when I say sharing, they were taking turns on feeding on a buffalo carcass. When I don't know who it was, I think it could have been Tinyo of the Birmingham boys that was up there. He would eat, and then he'd get too full and he'd go and sleep it off. And then Qurantine would move on in, not Qurantine, sorry, Mvula would come down his tree and actually have a little munch on the buffalo carcass and then head back. He almost got caught though. I watched a video where Mvula was happily munching away on the buffalo, and the next minute Tinyo had actually spotted him and started stalking him and got a couple of feet away, and then you could just see every now and then Mvula would lift his head up and look around, and you just knew that something wasn't right, and then that's when he spotted Tinyo, and he had to race up a big tree to get away from him. And I think that continued for a couple of days. How beautiful are his markings though, especially there. His coat looks so light, and there's that lovely contrast with the rosettes, that sort of rustish red in the middle. And then, of course, the dark black spots. He's got a lovely coloration to him. He's one of the prettier male leopards I've seen. They're always so handsome when they're young, for instance, like Hosanna's age. And then as they start to get a little bit older, they don't look as impressive, but he looks very, very handsome. And just a little scar on his nose, or a couple of little old scars on his nose. But they won't stay there forever, those will disappear. Oh, he's keeping a close eye. It's okay, big boy. Watching us.